Cosmic Con Chapter 6 The Colony Con. Greetings President Bill Temple, Smoothie said, always appearing stupid. We are in a meeting right now. Can you just get an appointment? I insist. This is important. Okay if you insist. He nodded at the people and they promptly stood and walked out. Do you have cameras around you? Bill asked. Yes, 24 of them. Smoothie answered and Bill turned to me and Matt. First off, Mr. President, I cleaned all the space junk from the alien invasion. I sent them all to a deep crater on the moon. So that's why some of our commercial satellites are missing. I will tell them to send you a bill, Bill said, not losing his cool. This is Tom, Smoothie said, pointing to me. And this is Jerry, pointing to Matt. Okay, you two look familiar, Tom, Jerry. May we sit? I asked. Matt and Smoothie sat down and I followed. Matt started. We met this group of aliens that are 2,000 years ahead of us technologically. And they have a problem. One of the species in their federation is intending to attack their homeworlds in 3 years. Now they do not have any military to defend them. Technology for military protection, I said. Bill thought for a while. Who are you, by the way? Pointing to me and Matt. We are humans appearing as fake humans, while Smoothie here is an alien appearing as fake Smoothie. Bill nodded in understanding. You two are real humans appearing in disguise and you are an alien appearing as Smoothie but different from our original Smoothie. Very smart, I thought. But then again, he's the president, so no surprise there. We have arranged that you take over a planet in the middle of their 10 planets. We would need at least 10 million people to study their technologies, create a military using their technologies or what we develop for our military using their technologies, and start trade with the Federation. This will greatly ease our pain in our goal of venturing into the stars, I said. And you think the humans will agree and even behave? Bill asked. We have 5 more superheroes like Smoothie here to help, Matt said. Help us decide? Yes, help you understand. One caveat is that we impose a 5% profit share in any profit derived from the use and development of alien technology for Earth and off-world use, private or commercial except government. Also, this 5% is tax-free. This fund will go to a non-profit that will distribute these to other non-profits, Matt said. We believe that the capitalist system is flawed as it is easier for the rich and harder for everyone else. We want to create a safety blanket for people, I said. And if we don't agree with the 5%? Again, we have 6 superheroes to help make people understand, Matt said. I can have him start with you, I said. I will agree. I think Congress and the Senate will also agree, Bill said quickly. Can you come out with 5,000 scientists, engineers, and military officers that we can bring over to the planet and start work? Smoothie asked. As usual, how much time do I have to round these people up? Bill asked, knowing Smoothie leaves out things. 3 days. That's cutting it tight but doable. How long is the trip to the planet? 10 minutes, so it's just near, Bill concluded. Yes, it's only 200 million light years away, so it is near. Smoothie agreed. We would prefer that you ready this much number every day going forward, I said. The logistics will be transported every day. We are arranging for 100 ships to help out with this task, Matt said. I think we should do this clandestinely. I only want to involve our allies, not the whole world, Bill said. Matt looked at him and said. I agree, it would be better, but the whole thing should be outed in 4 years. Okay, 4 years, Bill said, now understanding that it will not be revealed on his watch. We left the office but left our cameras. We could see that the president called a meeting with his Secretary of State and Military Joint Chief. He seemed excited and this excitement rubbed in on the two. Back in our house, Amy had already worked on the group CEO and CFO we need to have for our companies. She hired her cousin Tina as CEO and my cousin Ron as CFO. As I promptly changed to my usual jeans and tees, we have to talk to them in 2 hours, Amy said. Tina is 5 years older than Amy and she is an engineer architect. She has an MBA and moonlights as a teacher. Ron is my first cousin and I grew up with this guy and his family. He has a PhD in economics and is an international CPA. He also moonlights as a teacher. John, I will go back to the loonies and will be back for dinner. I saw some issues I need to address, Matt said. Amy walked over and kissed her brother. Matt looked at her and kissed back. When did you start kissing Matt? I asked. I felt bad I do not show how much I love him, Amy said and kissed me. Olive, I want to have a list, I said. What list? A list of people who should be involved in our loony project. I will ask Amy's mind on this. Just do it quietly, Amy said. I want to rest. And with that she started heading for the bedroom. She turned and asked, Aren't you coming? Yes, I am. I plan on doing something else, but this could be one of those rare occasions. Olive shouted in our heads to wake us up. Honey, we have to meet Tina and Ron. Amy said, jumping out of bed. She changed into a dress I have never seen before using her mind. I telepathically told Olive that I want my usual jeans and hoodie. This superhero uniform is coming in handy. I do not even have to take a bath. I told Amy. Amy tried to smell me and said, I can still smell you. Tina and Ron met us at our above-ground house. I gave them their usual beer. What is it that you want to talk about? Tina started looking at Amy. Tina, we have several companies and these companies have their own CEOs. We want a group CEO to manage them. Right now, I do that, and with Amy and the fam, I think I should just give the job to somebody like you. You cuz will be the group CFO. I started. Actually, it's not only group but worldwide CEO and CFO, Amy added. You have worldwide operations? Tina asked. Yes. We have thousands of non-profits, Amy answered. How many thousands? Around 3,000? Amy said. I guess you are thinking of grouping them by area. I said. Yes, I probably need a dozen group CEOs. Same here, John. How much money are we looking at? Ron asked. About $15 trillion and growing, I said. You have that much money and you are not telling anybody? Ron asked, surprised. It's not technically our money, but we just spend it, Amy said. Two Olives walked from the stairs area with two different faces and slightly different body types. This is my assistant Beth and Amy's assistant Rose. They will help you get acclimated and provide anything you might need, I said. They look so formal, Tina commented. You have to sign this non-disclosure agreement form, Beth said, and handed over the forms to Tina and Ron. Rose gave them pens. Tina and Ron signed away. Olive, they do not have to sign those, Amy told Olive telepathically. That's done. Now I would like to show you things that may be impossible to you. Olive teleported us to the belly of the ship under Mom's house. Amy and I switched to our usual house clothes. This will be your main office, I told Tina and Ron. It's empty, Tina said. Beth was beside Tina and Rose was beside Ron. You can ask Beth anything and she will provide this to you, Amy said. Beth, get us a conference table and some chairs, I said. Our table from our conference room appeared. I sat and Amy sat beside me. Rose, can you show us an aerial view of the houses? Amy said. A hollow of the view of our two houses appeared. This is actually a spaceship buried under Mom's house. It has 8 floors, as empty as this. But this is the smallest in area. The biggest is as large as a football field. Olive appeared. This is Olive, our family AI, Amy said. Beth and Rose are actually 2 other versions or copies of Olive that she creates for specific purposes. They can do whatever Olive can do. We have established offices in Africa, Europe, and Asia. Let's visit the one in Dusseldorf, Amy said. Olive, please. We found ourselves in a room that we established only for teleporting purposes. Then we stepped outside into Amy's office. This will be your office in Europe, Amy told Tina. Tina looked around and we were on the 10th floor. Do you speak German? Amy asked. That's okay, tomorrow you will. Olive, let's go to Tokyo. After Tokyo we showed them our office in South Africa. Then we went back to the ship. Let's have dinner tonight at Mom's house, Amy said. Hey cuz, if you can teleport like that, we can have dinner anywhere, Ron said. Yes, and we do that. But I just want the 2 of you to have dinner with Mom. How much will you pay me cuz? Tina asked Amy. How much would you want? Maybe $300K per year. I have to quit my side gig and my engineering job. No, John will pay you $3 million a year. That goes with you too, Ron? Amy said. And once the new tech companies start, you will get double that a year? I said. I cannot believe this, Tina said. Tina, how much is 6 million compared to 15 trillion? I asked. Honey, it just occurred to me that Chris is not getting paid for her contributions, Amy said. You're right, Chris, can you come over please? Chris appeared. What's up? Chris, Amy pointed out that we have not been paying you for your work. What work? Any work. Okay, pay me 10 million for the year. Okay. You're not going to make it 20 million? Chris asked. I would, but you only work part-time. Like whenever you want to, I said. Okay, fine. 15 million and that's it? I relented. Okay, where are we going for dinner? Chris asked. At Mom's? Amy answered. Okay, Chris said, and she disappeared. What does she do? Tina asked. She's an artist, a painter, I said. I mean to earn 15 million, Tina clarified. Come to think of it. Nothing really. She just does whatever she wants, I said. I think we are being underpaid, Ron said. We have travel benefits, I countered. I can just have Olive teleport me anywhere I like, Tina complained. No, I mean travel the galaxies, I said. We can do that? Matt appeared and hey guys. I brought 10 ships with me. They're parked behind Jupiter. Amy introduced Matt to Ron and Tina hugged her cousin. Can we go to these ships? Tina asked. Okay, Olive, come with us, Matt said. We found ourselves in one of the ships facing Jupiter. We could see the planet through the floor-to-ceiling window. Olive took over this ship and she gave me all the protocols for you to control this, Matt told Olive. It's done, Matt. This ship is as large as the one I have underneath your house and bigger than the one under Mom's house. If we create partitions and put chairs and tables, this could be a good-sized ferry. It needs human accommodations and services. Yes, like in a regular ferry. Do it with the other 4 but leave 5 as transport ships, Matt said. See Tina, travel benefits. You are in charge with Olive's help of making this ship a real ferry from Earth to another galaxy where we want to open a human colony. Not so fast, I want double. Okay, fine, you drive a hard bargain, I said. I get double too, Ron asked. Sure, I said, bringing the argument to a quick close. They could have asked for 3x or even 4x and I would have agreed. That night we ate at Mom's and Mom was happy with Ron and Tina. Olive, yes Mom. I want to drink some Moscato. In a second, Olive appeared with some Moscato wine and poured on Mom's cup. Mom tapped her glass with her fork, looked at me and guys, quiet. I want to announce something. Dr. David and I are getting married. Mom, it's about time, Matt shouted and raised his 2 arms. I am happy for you, Mom, I shouted as well. Matt got me all excited. Which was strange. Amy stood and hugged and kissed Mom. Chris stood and hugged and kissed her father, then Mom. Olive also hugged Mom. Now you're my half-sister, I told Chris. Mom, I will arrange the best honeymoon package for you. It's going to be a surprise, Matt said. I might ask Amy if Matt will cry again and she said, he will cry at the wedding. I just shook my head at the weirdness of my best friend. Smoothie appeared and went straight to Mom to hug and kiss her. I am happy for you, Mom. Why is Smoothie here? Ron asked. To congratulate Mom. Why does Smoothie call Aunt Carol Mom? Tina asked. Smoothie has always called Mom, Mom, Amy said. I will tell you later. Olive introduced Tina and Ron to Smoothie. Glad to meet you guys. I have to work, see you later. Smoothie disappeared. After dinner we went across the street to our house. Chris offered mushrooms this time. Ron and Tina got more than they needed. Matt was traveling and Amy and I were dancing as usual. Chris, can you show us your paintings? Tina asked. Sorry, not yet, Chris said. Are these your paintings? Ron pointed to several in our house. Yes, they are, Chris answered with a smile. The 3 moved to look at one in the kitchen. Then they just stood there. Amy and I went to our room and sat in our couch. Amy took me traveling the galaxies. I told her I wanted to go to the TAMs and see what they're up to. What we found out in our very high state was shocking. The TAMs were not the instigators of the invasion. Another species from an entirely different galaxy is telling them what to do. We quickly left and looked for places where Mom can have her honeymoon. We found them in the loony home world. It turned out that the loonies, while they may joke around a lot, takes their natural surroundings seriously. Their houses and buildings blend well in nature and in the scenery. Their tall skyscrapers were only allowed in 3 main cities in each planet. Regular houses and small buildings are mostly underground or at least half of the building. All their spaceships were being built in space. They have thousands of large space stations that function as manufacturing hubs as well as travel hubs in their 10 planets. This attitude leaves their world clean and their food natural. The next morning Olive as usual shouted in our head, reminding me of Mom's shout to wake me up. Now I realized Mom's was gentle and Olive was more demanding. The president wants to meet with you and Matt, Olive said. Call Ron and tell him to come over. I want to bring him with us. Olive, call Tina to meet me at Mom's house in an hour. Good morning, Mr. President, this is Nori and this is Beth. I introduced my cousin and Olive in another identity. The president introduced his Secretary of State Stella Hopkins and General Roger Reyes. Call me Bill, that's Stella and Roger. I suppose you two are also humans in disguise? Ron nodded while Beth showed a thumbs up. Matt started. Mr. President, I have secured 10 ships as our transport. I parked them behind Jupiter. We can leave in 2 days. I have a list of government scientists and military personnel and officers that we need immediately, Beth said and handed the list, which was 50 pages long. That's the first 5,000 people, I have 2,000 pages more. New development, we found out that the species we thought would be attacking the loonies are actually minions of a much bigger species called Sambarintos or Sams. They want the TAMs to conquer half of the Federation with their help and they will control the other half. Aren't we overextending ourselves here? Roger asked. I think it's doable. We just have to do everything in secret. Nobody should know we are building a large military force with the most advanced weapons from alien technology that we can innovate. I said. Ron was just quiet. The planet will appear an ordinary pristine planet on the outside but hollowed out by humans, studying and innovating. The superheroes will drag the attack dates for another year. So we have at least 4 years? Matt said. How do you know all these? Stella asked. Beth here is a seer who can see the future. Matt said. What did I eat this morning? Stella asked. Nothing. Beth answered. But your husband Frank had a long breakfast with his secretary Natalie. Am I going to win re-election? Bill asked. Yes you will, because there will be an unprecedented growth in the economy brought by alien technology that Smoothie will bring over but actually brought by the scientists from the colony. What's the winning lotto number? Bill asked. Beth looked at me. No, we are already on to that. I will just give you $5 million. Will I get the Secretary of Defense post? Roger asked. Yes, Bill will give you that post. Beth looked at Bill. Okay, I will, Bill said. How do I deal with the Russians? Stella asked. You don't. Wait for them to approach you. They will capitulate in 7 days. Beth said. How do we make Congress and the Senate follow my lead? Bill asked. Smoothie will follow your lead, Beth said. Very good. How will our people board the ships? Roger asked. Assemble them in the listed locations all over the US and we will teleport them to the ships at the designated time. We will appear before them to explain some things, Matt said, pointing to the list Roger was holding. The people would be assembled on Monday, then every day after this. Stella asked. Yes, but we will screen these people first if they are in the list. Otherwise, they should be in your list, Beth told Bill. Billy, I will create our own list and then combine it with your list and put it in a government site, Stella said. No government site. We have to do this clandestinely, Bill said. Stella, I will visit you the night before to get your list, Beth said. Stella nodded. We also need a Marine contingent for security, Matt said, looking at Roger. I will have them by Monday. Maybe a battalion, Roger said. What about their provisions? Bill asked. We will start sending these out today and every day thereafter. There would be 5 ships just for this purpose. Assemble what they may need at the same places and we will load them up. No trucks or vehicles. Electric bikes are okay. How about living quarters and accommodations? Stella asked. We are burying several large spaceships that we will renovate for their use as living quarters, offices, and research facilities. There are also large caves we'll be using as storage. Our superheroes are doing this now, Matt said. They will be operating underground all the time. Roger asked with a perplexed look. If they want to go topside, they should appear as local aliens, Matt said. They can do that? Bill asked. Yes, like us now. We are humans disguised as other humans. The aliens look like this, I said, and I changed into a loony and quickly changed back. Bill and Roger did not show any emotion. Stella was thinking. Can you change me into my husband's secretary? She asked me. Yes, I said, and Beth changed her into Natalie's image. Don't change me back just yet. I can teleport you to your husband's office as Natalie when Natalie goes to the restroom, where I will freeze her until you are finished, Beth said, and Stella nodded. Can we visit the place ahead of the group? Bill asked. Yes, when do you want to go? Wait, Natalie has left for the bathroom, Beth said, and she changed Stella to look like Natalie in her present actual clothes. This is tight, Stella said, and she disappeared. Bill, you do know that Stella used to be Special Forces, right? Roger said. I feel sorry for Frank already, Bill said. Is there a way to watch this? Bill asked Matt. Matt waved his hand in an arc and 3 holos appeared. We could see Stella moving to Frank and embracing him, kissing him, and Frank responding with a passionate kiss, and the scene started to be sexual. Then out of nowhere Stella punched Frank in the face so hard he tumbled to the office floor. Then Stella kicked him in the groin and stomach, then kicked his face. Vicious, but you deserve it, Frank, Roger said. Then we saw Stella leave. Stella appeared. That felt so good. She gave a high five to Bill, Roger, Beth, and Matt. We could see the actual Natalie going back to her desk, not knowing Frank was on the floor. You still have it, Stell? Roger said. When can we do this again? Stella asked. I can assign somebody to you as your personal assistants, I said. This way you can beat your husband anytime you like. Stella laughed. He has 2 more women that you can change into, Beth added. 3 olives in 3 different bodies appear. This is Emma, Lily, and Mila. They will be your personal assistants. You can ask them to do anything we can do. They can change your forms, they can teleport you, they can protect you from harm, even from a nuclear bomb, they can spy for you, they will provide you with all the information you need about anything on Earth and in the galaxies. They have access to our very tiny drone cameras. Just be sure to keep everything secret. Emma, you're with me, Stella said. Lily, you're with me, Bill said. Mila disappeared and appeared nearer to Roger. Mila, can you change into an officer in uniform please? Mila changed into an Air Force officer in white formal uniform. Very good, Roger said. That is so cool, Stella said. Wait, Emma, can you change to a man, a handsome man please? Emma did and Stella was so happy. I would suggest Lily, you change to a man, you are too pretty for Bill. You might endanger our president from his wife. Lily promptly changed to a lanky guy. Are you kidding me? Bill exclaimed, complaining. I guess these high-ranking leaders also have a good sense of humor. We can go visit the loonies' home world tonight if you like, Matt suggested. Bill pressed his intercom and said, Marie, I have a meeting at 7 onwards. Absolutely nobody. Stella and Roger gave the okay sign. That night Chris, Tina and Ron went with Matt together with Bill, Stella and Roger. They came back just before midnight. Amy and I just had our lunch in Taiwan and we met them at Tina's office in the ship under Mom's house. The Three Stooges came back with them. So how was your trip? I asked Matt. Bill answered instead, it was eye-opening. I realized that the loonies have only one government for all their 10 planets and 20 colonies, 40 billion people. And we are still using countries? Stella chimed in, I want to be the first human ambassador to the galaxies. Bill asked, so these are your true identities? Yes, Bill, this is John, who you know officially as Tom, and his wife Amy. Matt said. She looks like you. Yes, we're twins. Chris and Mo went to her studio while Larry and Joe left to meet with Ani, or in her present identity, Super Smoothie. Matt looked at me. They are all telepathic now. We'd like to leave now, Bill said. We shook hands and they disappeared. Tina and Ron also wanted to retire, and after the usual hugs, they disappeared. We need to talk, Matt said. Matt, Amy and I went back to our house. Matt continued, Beetle introduced me to this alien named Trio. He's the top guy for a species called Legiospront or Leos, and as we shook hands, as usual, I got so many things. Matt described these Leos as human-like in general build but thinner and have bigger head and eyes. You know, Matt, we should stop talking about these long species name and just call them by their nicknames, I said. Amy laughed. Okay, I am just so excited to tell you. These guys are more advanced than the loonies. Like the loonies, they like to joke around, but they perform with more drama, very empathic. Their main quality is that they are very smart. They are also telepaths. Trio told me that they are a 3-planet colony 30 MLY from the loonies but more than 3,000 MLY from their original home world. So tonight you and I will go to their original world and nosy around. You can come too, sis, if you like. No, I want to sleep. John, you can go but only for an hour, Amy said. You heard her, just an hour. Okay. What I saw was mind-boggling. These are probably the most advanced species I can imagine. Except for the riots, of course. Teleportation to them is automatic and targeted, they have invisibility capabilities, and finally, they can travel to other dimensions. This dimension travel excited the riots, so Matt decided that we visit their colonies next day with Mo and Larry and see what's up. Amy was meditating when I entered our bedroom. How was your trip? It was enjoyable. But not as enjoyable as being with you, liar. No, I'm not. You lied about the dog. Okay, but that's Matt's idea. I remember she was so pissed when she found out she ate dog meat. Come here. She motioned with her finger. The next day, Matt and I went to the loonies to get the 5 superheroes. It took you guys a while? I said. The loonies are so much fun, Joe said. Matt told them about the Leos and asked if they wanted to come, and they all agreed. They were still wearing the superhero costumes, and I felt like the Justice League is in the bridge flying to save a planet from destruction. We introduced the League to Trio and Mixa. Mo integrated with Trio and Larry integrated with Mixa, Trio's assistant. Trio explained to us, you may see this colony as barren, backward, having small houses and not much to eat. But that is what we want the world to see. I hope you guys will honor our desire to live in secret like this. Why are you so far from your home world? I asked. We were attacked by a savage species with thousands of ships. We have lived peacefully for hundreds of thousands of years. We could have easily killed all of them, even exterminate their whole species, but we chose to make all our planets invisible. Because of the attacks, some decided to create colonies, like ours. Some went to other dimensions. When Matt shook my hands, he instantly knew. When he introduced us to the riots, we were amazed because we have always wanted to be like them, to exist as energy without bodies. They pointed out their problem of not dying, and this made us sad, Trio said. They showed us their invisible ships, invisible ground infrastructure and underground world. This world was huge, almost 5% of the whole planet mass. Finally, they brought us to another dimension. The Leos have this machine that creates a warped reality window and you can just walk through. In fact, they can make the window so big as to allow a spaceship to go through. We ended up in one of their colonies in a different dimension. Apparently, they have these colonies as jumping points or bases so that they just don't dimension in without a fixed and known location. We went around and it looks the same as our dimension. Larry and the League wanted to stay and try to learn things. Of course, their primary mission is to get killed. They also figured that there must be other riots in this dimension and believes they can get their collective information. The Laos made us promise to keep their secret. As an incentive, they gave us 10 invisible ships. You have more than 20,000 ships that you don't even use and you are giving us only 10? Matt complained. Okay, we'll give you 20, Trio countered. Matt was still angry. Okay, fine, we'll give you 200 and that's final? Matt was still angry. 200 of your most advanced ships is fine. Thank you, I said, ending the conversation. Now Matt is angry at me. We'll tell you when we need more, I said, and this made Matt less angry at me. They requested that Mo stay with them so they can learn things. Mo agreed but as a sign of goodwill asked for 500 ships for Matt. The Laos grumbled. I take it you are grumbling because you wanted to give us more? I asked. We are happy to give you 500 more as a sign of goodwill, Trio said quickly. We want the most advanced ships, I added. Now Matt is smiling. I told them to deliver the 700 invisible ships near Earth. I think they are not very good at negotiating anything. We'll deliver the ships tomorrow near your planet, Trio said. Park 10 ships near our colony planet. Make sure they are all invisible, Matt said, smiling this time. We went back to Earth just in time for lunch. It was Tina's birthday and Amy decided to have lunch, actually dinner, in Dakar. Olive, Chris, Ron, Mom and Dr. David went with us. Tina brought her mother Lauren while Ron brought his mother Anna, Mom's sister. Lauren, Mom and Auntie Anna loved the seafood and this made Amy happy. Monday, Group 1, Night Batch. It was a large warehouse in Los Angeles. Outside, security was tight with several streets around rendered empty as early as 5 p.m. The people were divided into two, military and civilian. There were just over 1,000 people. In a flash of light we appeared on stage. Bill in a suit, Roger, Mila, both in white uniforms and I, in my superhero black and green uniform, appeared. The crowd became quiet. Bill started by introducing himself as if some people don't know him. He introduced Roger, Mila and me. You guys are the very first batch of Earthlings that will travel to a planet 200 million light-years from here and establish the first human colony. Your job is to study and develop technology that Earth and the military can use. We have established your living and working quarters which I hope you will find adequate. It will be a 15-minute ferry ride and you can come home back to your family in time for dinner. When you get there, you will attend a briefing so you can understand things you should and should not do. There will be about 8,000 groups like you and we intend to have more than 10 million people on the planet in less than a year. I understand that you all have signed the non-disclosure agreement forms and I want you to understand that you should take it very seriously. Bill looked at me. I got the mic and started slow. Hi, my name is Tom. I know you are all excited. What I want to talk to you about is my attempt to ground you to our ground, to Earth. I want you to never forget you are humans. Never forget what and who we are, our values and very colorful way of life, the human spirit. Carry all of these with you proudly as ambassadors of the human species. A lot of the alien life forms may look down on you, they will think that you are stupid and primitive, a newbie and infant players in the galaxy. Please do not falter, be the humans we are, when we fall, we stand up again, we fight until we are dead. Carry our belief in freedom, equality, hard work, protecting the innocent, family, creativity, innovation, and desire to learn. But also make sure that aliens understand that we protect our own. You go out there to learn things so we can protect our own. And nobody can ever deny us our freedoms and way of life. Nobody. The crowd erupted in cheers and clapping hands. I handed the mic to Roger. He was calm. This is our first batch and I hope you will be patient and let things unfold before you. You will have a lot of questions, just wait and let things happen. Mila will monitor everything so we can address your needs and correct what we see as flaws in the process. Tell her what you need for your work and she will get this for you. God bless. The crowd was still clapping their hands when they all disappeared and teleported onto the ship near Jupiter. Mila was there waiting and directed them to take a seat or they can also walk around. When they arrived at the orbit near the planet which Amy named Olympus, Mila teleported all of them down to the main hall of the invisible ship in orbit. Mila was there and directed them to sit on the plastic chairs. She then started the main lecture for the next 2 hours. Then they were given lunch and then another lecture. Mila then gave their assigned tasks going forward. By the end of the day, we were able to establish what the people needed to allow them to work and live in the ship. The opening remarks were repeated using olive copies in the form of Roger, Bill and I, controlled and made interactive by Mila. This freed us from this chore. When Olive took over the Leo ships, she positioned 6 Leo ships in 3 locations between Earth and the Olympus 200 MLY away. She also stationed 10 invisible Leo ships between the Moon and Mars. These became our staging posts. She concluded the teleportation technology of the Leos can cover distances up to 100 MLY but needed some teleportation equipment and one that need targets, calibration and operates in regular spacetime. These were unlike the ones the riots have that teleport you up to 5 MLY only but can be controlled by thought and much quicker because they were built and adapted for riot sense of time. The riot machines were also much smaller and self-contained. After a month of ship ferry we allowed the colony to use the teleportation platforms, or TPs, of the 6 ships in 3 locations for travel purposes. It was more time-consuming because people had to move from an incoming TP to an outgoing TP. After a while the traffic seemed to prefer the 2 forms of travel equally. We were having dinner, actually lunch, in Sydney with Tina and Ron. Ron, next month Smoothie will introduce to the human scientists a fusion generator designed by our colony scientists on Olympus. A company will be formed to own the patent. It will farm out the manufacturing process to several international factories. I will also distribute the generator itself. The company will be 60% owned by the Olympus colony government, 20% by the US government, 15% by an Olympus nonprofit and 5% by one of Tina's chosen nonprofits. The manufacturers will be guaranteed a 30% margin based on cost before they sell it back to the company. Distributors will be assured on 30% margin based on price. The company will make about 50% of the price in margin. The net income will be distributed based on ownership, after taxes on 75% of the profit, I explained. We will loan out capital to the manufacturers and this will come from the remaining 10 trillion Olive has, I explained. Going forward all tech sent to Earth will be introduced this way. The 5% non-profit income will be held by the chosen non-profit that may be different each time, Matt added. We would prefer to have the Germans do most of the manufacturing of the fusion generators, Amy said. Why not the US? Tina asked. We're saving them for the larger spaceships and military technologies, Matt said. We will center the communications, small and medium arms, and smaller spaceships manufacturing to the Japanese and Indians, the drones and civilian ships to the other Asian countries. We also want to create a very large spaceport with all nations involved, I added. So cuz, in all new tech we get 5% of the net, Ron clarified. Yes. On Earth and anywhere else. Guys, I want to create another human colony on the other side. Matt gestured. Earth is here and Olympus is here on my right. I want another colony here on my left. I saw this planet only 120 MLY from Earth. It is similar to Earth, with 70% of water and very green. No inhabitants. We have to run it by Billy, I said. Olive, can you call Billy and have him come over here if he is available please? He and Roger will be here in 10 minutes, Olive said. You know I like my job. I also completed hiring all my group CEOs, Tina told us. I am glad you do. I always believe that you're the best for this job. Why don't you give them a trip? Let them see what non-profits can do in colonies, Amy said. Matt seconded the idea. I have thought of that, Tina said. I told you the travel benefits is part of the pay, I said and Tina laughed. We were engrossed in laughing at Matt, we did not notice Billy and Roger were beside us. They changed their usual suits and uniform to jeans and hoodies. This energy suit is really handy. I can just think it and it changes to any suit or uniform I like, Roger said as he sat. Matt, what is this important thing Olive is talking about? Bill asked. He again gestured his arms about the colonies. I would agree, Mr. President. It will enhance our security and technologies, Roger said. I also like it, Billy said. Say 10 million again? I asked and Billy nodded. Who's our neighbors? Roger asked. Actually, none for the next 220 or so MLY. Earth will be the closest neighbor, Matt said. That's even better. We'll name it Left Earth because it's at the left of Earth. But Billy, in space, direction is relative. It could be right or top or bottom of Earth, I said. And I thought he was smart. Why not just New Earth? Amy suggested. Okay, New Earth then, Billy agreed. Roger gave a sigh of relief. Just then the waitress approached and Billy and Roger ordered 2 steaks each. Aren't you two watching your weight? Yes, but the steaks here are really good, Roger said. I get it, you have lunch and dinner all over the world too, Tina conjectured. Of course, Billy smiled. So same SOP? Roger asked me. Yes, Olive will set up 10 ships as base ships on New Earth, 6 ships as TP ships in 3 locations and 10 ships in Earth orbit as start base. We'll use some of the people in Olympus to start these off since they already have experience on these things, I said. Matt, can you talk to the EU president about troop training and deployment? Stella asked them 50,000 and they only gave us 20,000. This will be a problem again with New Earth, Roger said. I think they are thinking about the money, Ron said. Why don't we rent out the TP ships as travel hubs? The rent will fund the military in the colonies, Tina suggested. That's a good idea. And Olive can double the number of TP ships so we double the rent, Ron said. Now we're talking, Billy said. I would suggest that we open up Olympus to Earth commerce and call on the trading companies worldwide to establish trade among the Looney Federation. Olympus will serve as the hub for this trade, Amy suggested. Olive, can you call Stella to come over please? Amy, I think it's too early, but it's about time we start thinking about this, Billy said telepathically. Stella walked out of the women's restroom and sat beside Amy. She was wearing some punk clothing with tattoos on her exposed arms. It was strange for a woman in her 50s to do this. Billy did not even mind how Stella looked. He took the task of explaining what we talked about so far. Billy, I would agree that we can start this trade. But we need to study the Federation demand and supply situation in their various economies and their payment systems, Stella said. I can have some of our smartest from Stanford study this and give us their recommendations, Billy said. Olive told me he graduated from Stanford so he must be smart. But sometimes I wonder. In the meantime, we can have some commercial establishments in Olympus, Stella said. There are small enterprising people doing small trading. We can start a bank or banks so payments would be easier. The colony government just approved their commercial laws so we can expect some startups coming soon, Ron said. Guys, I would suggest caution. Remember, all of these operations are clandestine since the whole thing is not outed yet, I said. Billy, Roger and Stella became quiet. I believe that the profits the Olympus government will generate will eventually help pay the military expenditures and for local development, Matt said. Matt, that's eventually. I can't even commit the 20% of the US, Billy added. Our scientists have developed a good understanding of the LEO ships already and I think we should start turning them into military science ships. You know, to boldly go, Matt said. I have been monitoring their progress and I think that could help our problem with our allies, Roger said. Are you willing to give them their own ships? Billy asked Matt. 300 ships total for our allies. Roger, give me a list on how you want to divide these among our friends. I will give 100 for the US, Matt said. Thank you, Matt, Billy said. Once you decide on the division, I will talk to them and tell them about the allocation you gave them in exchange for troops. I will also tell them about the rental income, Matt said. Thanks Smoothie for the ships. They only agreed to give us 200 but Smoothie agreed to help them with their technologies in exchange for 500 ships, I said. I should go easy on Smoothie then, Billy said. Not at all, in fact you should thank him with more insults and blame, Matt said. What if we give them the ability to choose a planet to have as their own? Amy asked. I think she is seeing something here. I believe there are about 3,000 exoplanets near New Earth that they can choose from. We can have Olive deploy TP ships to connect the chosen planets, Matt said. It will add to their financial needs. If they cannot even fund a few thousand troops, how can you expect them to fund a colony? Ron argued. It's about control? Bill explained and continued. If we were the ones who gave them their planets, we have the higher ground. Add the fact that we literally provided the highway for them to reach their new planet. And we can help them with the infrastructures? I added. Think about it, Billy. We can create our own federation of Earth planets, Stella said. We all became silent. Let me record this properly, that the Federation of Earth planets started in a restaurant in Sydney, Tina said. Over very good steak, added Stella. Let's do it, I said, and Amy held my hand. Who will be in charge of this project? Roger asked. Sis, it's your idea, you do it, Matt said. I felt my gut turn. I agree, Stella said. Me too, Billy said. Me three, Roger said. I just heard myself grumble and felt Amy hold my hand.